find it strange that in my 28 years of life, the worst show I've ever seen on television is actually still running. Not only that, it's actually on right now. But it's true, and I know that this is the worst show that I've ever seen in my entire life, because there's two different types of bad TV. There's bad TV that's bad because it's poorly written, poorly performed, poor conceptually, just bad sets, just bad TV. And then there's offensively bad TV. Then there's TV that's so bad that it's offensive. And this is the cream of that, the golden nugget of offensively bad TV. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for Love Island. Love Island! The phenomenon that is. If you're from the UK, then you already know what the show is. If you're from the US, I don't know. You might know what the show is. I'm not entirely sure about the spin-offs that they have, but it's one of those shows that started 7 years ago and just sort of became this overnight phenomenon, and everybody started going nuts for it. I think they had like a celebrity special before that, but I'm not entirely sure. But everybody just started losing it for the show in the UK, and it is fucking huge, and it is fucking disgusting. And allow me to explain why. So before I start any of this analysis, I do want to say that everything I know about the show is through osmosis through Ashley, because she's going to kill me if she ever sees this video, but she actually likes the show a lot. So I do know bits, and this is what I've surmised from the show. Now you may say, well, you don't know enough about the show to be talking about it and critiquing it, but the fact is, I know as much as the average Joe going into it, and my complaints are largely about what you see on the surface. Because when I talk about a show being offensively bad, if it's offensively bad, on a surface level or any level where you just enter into it, then that's bad. That's not a good thing. It has to have a solid foundation and be solid throughout. And this is not. This is just absolutely disgusting. So I just want to quickly remind you that this is one of the most popular shows on television in England. So we start with two rows of people. We have men and we have women. Ben Shapiro, you'd love this. You'd love this situation. You have your cattle, you've got your meat, you've got your farmers, and they're inspecting their meat for the prime cuts of rib. Oh, I see that one over there. Aye, that looks like 42 pounds. You've got your prime specimens, you've got your cuts on one side, and then on the other side. They stare at one another with a presenter in the middle, and at this point, I think it's called the coupling. They choose who they want to spend the night with. Unconsensually, which means without consent, they stare at the other people on the other side, and they choose who they would like to spend the night with. This obviously they're not they're not required to have sex, but they are required to sleep in the same bed. Now they can say no if they want to get kicked off the show. In order to stay in the show, they have to sleep in the same bed as a random person who is unconsensually chosen for them. They have no say in this. They can't say, actually, no, I don't think I want to, Bill. There are just two lines of people, two genders. Yes, Shapiro, the P word is there. And they get to choose their prime cut of beef. And they're pulled out on their ropes, and, 50 pounds, who wants his prime cut for 50 pounds? They don't do that. But you do have the two lines divide, and they stare at them and they go, I want that one. I want that one. Now, I think it switches between man and woman who gets to choose. And it's just random people. So you could get chosen completely at random and have to spend the night with a stranger who you don't know. This is completely, absolutely outrageously ridiculous, obviously. But what makes it even crazier is I said this show was an overnight success. I think it made it big in 2018. And for anyone who doesn't remember, there was something else that started ages ago, but really crescendoed in 2018 and really found its feet in 2018. I'm, of course, talking about the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement, which, for anyone who doesn't know, was a movement designed for, everyone to stand up against sexual assault and speak up against people they were assaulted by. This is rape victims, sexual assault victims. This is serious stuff. And I like to think that there was a moment where ITV, and I know there was a moment where ITV said, we support women standing up against sexual assault and rape. This is disgusting, and women should not be forced into positions where they feel they have to give themselves sexually. Coming up after the break, 2 rows of people get to choose who they spend the night with. Oh my god! I almost fell on my seat. Wow, ITV. Wow, what a despicable fucking channel. That's not even the worst of it. ITV are complete scum. But yeah, no, they have no problem. They're still airing this show. They have no problem completely perpetuating sexual assault. But perpetuating and glorifying sexual assault aside, that should be enough. But let's get into the analysis of the show. So essentially the show is like this weird Big Brother clone that was way too late to the show. Except, you know, the one requirement to get onto Love Island rather than Big Brother is that you have to be hot. There's no exceptions. I'm not exaggerating. This is not me just saying, oh my god, they're all hot, blah, blah, blah. You have to be hot. It's a requirement. You are not allowed onto Love Island unless you're hot. Which, you know, why not, right? Why not? Why should we represent everybody from all shapes and sizes? Why should we tell people that it's okay to be whoever you want to be when hot people exist? Who wants to watch not hot people? No one. Well, apparently not, because the show is usually successful. So let's just get six packs. Oh, sorry, Bill, you had that hot dog. You can't come onto the show. And of course, you know, the large majority of the cast is white. Usually they throw one non-white man and one non-white woman into the mix, but aside from that, every single person on the show is typically white and straight. You are literally not allowed to be on this show if you're not straight. And this is genuinely true. I know it seems absolutely mind-blowing, and in every other field in the entire Western Hemisphere, you are not allowed to discriminate in a position, based on someone's sexual orientation. You're legally not allowed to hire someone based on their sexual orientation. You can't hire someone because they are gay, unless it's Love Island, in which case, fine. Get rid of, who needs them? We can't have the gays on the show. So yeah, you are completely not allowed on the show if you're gay. You're not allowed on the show if you're trans, and you're probably not going to get on the show if you're not white. It is 2020 fucking 2 right now. I can't believe this. No representation whatsoever. You have to be hot and white and straight and cis, and that's it. That's all they allow. You have to be the same hot 6-pack, 0% body fat. There's an entire row of all of the girls. There's going to be less body fat than there is on me. You're not, no. Unless you're exactly like that, you are not allowed on this show. Absolutely fucking disgusting. I hope you rot in hell, showrunners. I really fucking do. You are despicable. Anyway, the rest of the show just plays out like a stupid Big Brother clone, except less interesting. Because say what you want about Big Brother, you may not have liked the show. I kind of did when I was younger, but I don't think I could stomach it now. But at least the show served a purpose. It was an experiment to see what happens when you get a bunch of people in a room and don't allow them to leave. And it's like this closeness and this analysis that actually humans don't interact well with one another, and that if you don't allow them the ability to move away and not excuse me, I've got a cough tonight, be tied to one another, then they're just going to rip their heads off and absolutely lose it, with the exception of the eviction process. This was actually an interesting analysis, and some sparks would fly, because you had people in situations which they naturally should be okay in, but weren't, because we're humans and we're flawed. There's none of this in Love Island. There is absolutely none of this in Love Island. I know the house in Big Brother was big, but it was plopped in the middle of nowhere and fenced off, and you felt as though you couldn't leave. You felt as though you were in the middle of nowhere. In Love Island, they're on a villa at a beautiful holiday destination. Sometimes they're shipped off onto even more stunning areas of whatever island they're on. It is gorgeous. It's a fucking holiday. Why would you want to leave? Why would you possibly want to leave? Also, because the show isn't based around social situations, it's based around relationships. The conflict that you get in a villa on holiday, where the whole premise of the show is who is in a relationship and who isn't, is bickering. You don't get these interesting social situations. You get bickering, complaining, bitching, gossiping, whining. That's your conflict. And say what you want, and I say this as a man who is in a relationship. Now, relationship conflict is bickering. It is arguing, complaining, and just little stupid, naggy little moments. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. And this is the amalgamation of that. This is what happens when you get a bunch of vapid people in a room, nagging and gossiping and just little silly, stupid little things. And it's not entertaining. It's not interesting. I don't like doing it myself. I don't like seeing other people do it, and I don't want to see it on TV. And they have these little moments where they go off to the side, and the shot is perfectly lit. The audio is perfectly balanced and positioned. The framing is perfect, but it's supposed to be completely spontaneous. Oh yeah, Jeff and Sarah went over there and just had a quick chat in the designated quick chat, perfectly lit, perfect sound mixing area. And we're supposed to believe this? Everything just feels so fake and so set up, you know? Nothing happens spontaneously in a reality TV show where things are supposed to be spontaneous. So why are they there? Why are these people there? What are they competing for? Well, in this show that's supposed to be about finding love, there's a cash prize. There is a cash prize. I think it's £250,000, but don't quote me on that. And that's what's keeping them there. It's a competition. You want to know something else? They have to stay in a relationship. You have to remain in the relationship. So the reason for all of this conflict, the reason for the bickering, the reason for the looking over and being jealous about people, potentially flirting with other people and stuff like that, is because people are afraid of losing the cash prize. They're afraid of losing the money. It has nothing to do with the relationship. So you have people who greedily came onto a show to earn a bit of money and pretend that they were going to be in a relationship to do so, bickering about fake relationships that started by the way, 2 or 3 days ago. You get these people who go off and they'll get off with another girl, and you've got this person saying, I thought he was going to be the one. I thought he was the one. He was the one for me. And then he went off with that bitch. And then, they talk to the bitch and they're like, look, I respect you and I love you. I just don't think you should have got with my man. You met him 3 days ago on a fucking game show and you're with him for a bit of money. And that's it. There's no depth to it. It's not deep, Sarah. Sorry, I need to calm down. We're not even at the end yet. So the whole thing is a competition to earn money. They're forced to sleep in beds with people they don't really know. They force themselves to because they have to remain in a couple. Now we're going to circle back to the coupling. This happens. They have to immediately be put into a relationship because that's how the show works. You have to remain in a couple throughout the entire show. I think if not, you get kicked off on a weekly basis or something like that. Kind of like evictions in Big Brother. Yes, you are forced to remain in a couple. Every single avenue of an abusive I'll stay with him culture, or him/her culture, is here. Every trope of it, every piece of it, he'll change, or he has to, or I have too much I have too much invested in this relationship, I have too many stakes in this relationship, we're staying together for the kids. All of this is all here on display, perpetuated, glorified. You'll get money if you do this. And it's absolutely despicable. It's absolutely disgusting, lack of representation aside, lack of normality aside, lack of entertainment. There's nothing entertaining in the show, by the way. Like I say, it's just a bunch of people squabbling, and they have the candid, the sort of reality TV camera setup where they just have someone sitting on a bench in a garden, sunbathing and chatting shit to someone else. They have that completely boring, uninteresting, not worth watching at all, not entertaining or informative, just outrageously mad, and it's just boring. It's not just boring, it's despicable, it's disgusting. I can't believe people support it. I can't believe it's still on TV. I really can't. Forcing people into relationships for a cash prize. This seems like something that was on the writing board in the 70s and they sort of abandoned for something else, and then they dusted it off, picked it up and said, I wonder if we can make this work today. I wonder if we don't get much of a viewership, people won't complain about this too much, and somehow people didn't anyway, and it got huge, and it's massive, and I really think it says a lot about our society that we're able to gloss over the obvious, disgusting idiosyncrasies of the show because they want to see who's getting with who. Man, I don't like this world. I don't like this world. I don't like this show at all. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, after that heated moment, I guess I'll see everyone later.